I just wanted to talk a sec about my experience bringing my 3 other turkeys in for meat processing the other day. I didn't do an update that day, basically because I was assuming that the meat was going to come back packed in ice. And back up, buddy. And it didn't. It actually, they just brought out 75 pounds of turkey meat on a 90-degree day, and I had to throw it in my van and like haul ass home. Like, I wanted to get photos of it, of what came back, but I didn't have time because, like I said, it was 90 degrees, and I had to get the meat put away. Like, it's just like 75 pounds of meat in 2 boxes in my van. Sorry, he's poking me. Back up. So yeah, it was a very interesting experience to bring these guys in. As I mentioned, I have been basically a card-carrying vegetarian or vegan since I was 1920, so like it's a long time. I'm 37 now, so the amount of meat that's been in my fridge in my lifetime is utterly minimal. So it was quite a challenge just to get myself to do it. There's a lot of evidence in recent years about nutrition that meat is not as bad for you as people originally thought. Like, I always liked meat, but I really didn't eat it a lot, just basically because of the way the animals are treated and how they're treated and how they're raised. Like, they're just usually drugged up and stuck in tiny barns on top of each other. They usually like cut the beaks off of the turkeys, all that kind of stuff. So that was basically my main reason for not eating it all these years. Yeah, it was an interesting experience. I kind of thought that like I wouldn't have to necessarily see much. I kind of thought I would pull up to this farm and maybe there would be reception and somebody would come take them from my van, but that wasn't it. You have to like back right up into this, basically put your van right up to this slaughterhouse, and ow, see, I literally just pulled back up. You just back your van up, and you gotta take them out of the crate. There we go. Ow, get. Okay, I gotta shut the door. See, they don't care, they'll just poke you. So yeah, so you gotta back right up and take them out, and there's like 50 other birds waiting. There's like 50 other birds sitting there in cages, like waiting for their turn, and that's kind of awful. And they're just all sitting there by the door, so that was not fun. And then I made the mistake of, like, when I was leaving, turning around and looking at them before I left. So like that made me cry for like 10 minutes on the way home. So that part was not pleasant. Like, when I went to go pick them up, they're not, they do everything. They quarter them, they get the feathers off. Like, they don't look anything like turkeys when you get them back. They look just like, what you get at the supermarket. Which, that part was really easy. Like, when I got them back, that part was really easy. But then, actually storing them in my fridge and freezer, because obviously it wasn't 40 pounds, it was 75 pounds. 3 turkeys came back as 75 pounds of meat. So like I had to like scramble to find places for it and everything. So like just having that much meat in my freezer, like it's never been so. I've never had that much meat anywhere ever at any point in my life. Like, I ended up not liking it at all, because like I can literally smell, my whole fridge smells like a freaking butcher shop, and it smelled up my cabin. Like, just having that much meat, like, for me, not having animal products in my presence for so long, and then just to have 75 pounds, like, you can literally, I could smell it. Like, every time I open my fridge, every time I come in my cabin, like, I can smell that there's that much meat, and I didn't care for that at all. I was able to eat it, for sure. That wasn't a problem. I was able to cook some and eat it, but like, I've already like eaten like most of a whole breast, which is like massive, and like I'm already like, I couldn't eat another bite of turkey for like a few weeks, and I have, you know, 60 pounds of meat left. So like I couldn't eat another bite of turkey right now. It's like I really don't think people understand how fake their meat is, even if they do buy it, you know, quote unquote fresh from a shop or a store. Like even you know, the best kind of meats that you can buy, you know, it's older, it's always going to be older, it's always going to be treated with salts and brines, and most of them have antibiotics of one kind or another. Like it's very different than hand-raised meat. Like it's just very different experience. I really don't like it. It tastes okay, but yeah. So like the meat, my camera cut off. So the meat, it tastes okay, but like it's very hard to eat. Like just in general, like I just don't think people realize how easy their meat is to just slides down your throat when you buy McDonald's, and it's just fake meat covered in cheese and stuff. Like when you actually have an animal killed, the meat is so different, and it's very hard to eat. Like I don't know, like when they say you're supposed to have 3 ounces of protein, meat protein, quote unquote, like that really is all you can eat in one sitting of hand-raised meat. It's a very different product. So like you know, it was a good experience. I'm glad that I tried it. I don't think I would do it again. Like I'm probably gonna sell these guys. I don't think I'm going to be bringing these guys in to the butcher. Yeah, I don't think it's for me, which I mean didn't really surprise me, because like I said, we're going on 20 years actually not eating a whole lot of meat. Like obviously I've had, you know, some fish, some seafood here and there, but like the vast majority of my life I've basically been vegetarian longer than I ate meat as a kid. But like I said, it was more for the way that animals are raised versus actually eating animals. Like it was good, like okay, it was, you know, but I don't think I would do it again, and I don't think today's the day I'm gonna go full on start eating meat again. I really, even in my freezer now, like I just don't even know what to do with it. Don't really have much of a desire for it. So yeah, like I said, it was a good experience. I'm glad that I did it. It's like I think people should. Oh my God, look at him pecking right near his eyeball. Ooh, stop. Jesus. Ugh. But yeah, it was kind of crazy. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, it was, you know, it was an okay experience. But today's not the day I'm gonna start full on going back to being a meat eater. I just don't need it. It's like, you know, people make fun of how bland tofu is. Like I'm not a huge tofu person, but I do see that people make fun of how bland tofu is. If you actually went out and ate meat, just plain meat, without any of the salt, the brines, the additives, the spices, like if you actually ate a piece of hand-raised meat, like there's nothing to it. Like it's just pointless. I just find meat pointless, which is a shame, because there's a lot of evidence that, you know, there are a lot of people doing carnivore diets and, you know, losing a lot of weight, doing carb-free. You know, there's a lot of people doing a lot of, you know, stuff with just eating meat, but I just don't. It doesn't interest me. I was hoping that maybe I would come around to the meat thing with, you know, raising my own, but I can't stand the smell of my fridge. I can't stand smelling it in my freezer next to my vegetables. It smells like a butcher shop, and like I already have, you know, 5 pounds of already cooked turkey in there that's still sitting in there that I haven't been able to eat yet. So yeah, that was my experience. Anyway, so I'm probably gonna sell these guys. I think you know, getting later in the season, I think the turkey project is just about wrapping up for this season. So pros and cons to these broad-breasted whites. They were a lot of fun because they stayed right in the fence. Like they're too fat to fly. They're too heavy to fly. So the fact that they stayed in the fence, unlike the what I have, Royal Palms last year that kept jumping the fence. So that was a pro. So they're pretty gentle birds. They don't chase me. They don't, I mean, if I sit here, they'll like peck at my tattoos, but they don't chase me. They're not mean. They're not nasty or anything. So they're sweet birds. They're fun to have. But the meat thing is not going to happen. So pretty much wrapping up turkeys for this season. I may go back to chickens or guinea fowl next season. It wasn't looking like I was going to be staying here, but now it looks like there might be a chance again. So we'll see what spring brings. Anyway, yeah, that's all. Next one.